How you doing? I don't even know how to start this, to be perfectly honest with you. I feel like a bit of a twat. But there you go. My name's Jamie Milligan, for those of you who don't know me. Um, this is my first attempt at this, so there's every chance it'll be shit. But I think it's important to do, so it's something I'm going to continue with. I'm in my kip, by the way. I'm not posing at the moment. I just decided to kind of do this at the last minute. But the point in this is really to kind of make people aware of what someone with OCD, with Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, will go through on a daily basis. For me, it's been a game changer. It's been a life changer. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. The biggest battle I've ever faced. But in the same respect, it's made me a hell of a lot more determined, a hell of a lot stronger, and it's made me appreciate, what I've got a heck of a lot more. So it sounds kind of crazy to say it, but there's been a lot of positives I've taken from this as well. It's been the most difficult 3 years of my life. I'm getting back on the right foot, finally. But if you told me 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that this is what my life would be like, then I wouldn't have believed you. I would have laughed at you. It's never something I considered. It's never something I thought I would face. But there you go. That's my cards. That's what I need to deal with. This is pretty unscheduled, so again, kind of excuse me if it is a bit kind of crap and it seems thrown together at the last minute. And if you see me looking down, it's because I'm reading notes. That's a basic introduction. I've got OCD. I've had it for about 3.5 years. I suffered big time with it for about 2.5 years, 3 years, before I realised that something was kind of seriously wrong, and I really had to try and get my life back, because at that point I was a prisoner and I was going nowhere. It very much ruled me, and it was unmanageable. It was becoming incredible. Life itself was just becoming pointless. I really was a kind of shell. I didn't really have any sort of enjoyment from life. It sapped everything. Everything positive, everything enjoyable, was sapped out. Every day, no matter what I did, the biggest challenge I faced was just kind of staying on top of my thoughts. So really, it took me to kind of speak to mum and dad and being open about it, to realising that something's got to be done here. I need to try and get my life back. So I'm kind of waffling there. I guess to start with, I should probably talk about my life before OCD. I was like any other guy. I've always had it since I was a kid. It's only now I'm probably beginning to realise little things like touching wood to protect family members. I've always had like little episodes. High school, third year, and one or two other moments, but nothing particularly serious. Difficult, but not crippling, not all-consuming. Really, my life before this onslaught was very good. It was very positive. I was really happy with who I was and where I was going. I was enjoying life, and then this hit, and really it turned everything upside down. I was in a really good place beforehand. I just finished university, just got a degree. I had a lot of mates. I had a kind of girl in my life who I'd fallen head over heels for. I had everything going for me. So it kind of hit a really rough period. It hit not a difficult period, but when it hit and I had so much going for me, it turned everything upside down. So it made things really rough, made things really difficult. I kind of went on holiday with my girlfriend at the time. Had a brilliant week, really relaxing. And I came back, went on holiday with my mates, and things were beginning to go wrong in my head. I was beginning to worry about sort of irrational things that I knew weren't right, and I knew kind of I knew that it wasn't normal to kind of spend so much time thinking about things like that. But I never pieced it together, and I as I said, I thought OCD was like just, I don't know, like making sure clothes weren't creased and like lining up tins of beans. So it never occurred to me once there was something wrong. But I came back from holiday a different person to the one I kind of left Scotland. And really, until April this year, things just got worse. I was exactly the same. It really took over my life, as I said. So yeah, it sucked. And it had a major impact on me and everyone around me. I became so withdrawn. I knew in myself that I was basically a prisoner. But the amazing thing was that no one noticed. No one really noticed. The only person who knew about it was my girlfriend at the time. And she was really supportive, which was amazing. But, both I and her had no idea what was going on. And she never really appreciated the full extent to what was going on in my head. She just thought maybe, talking pep talks and whatnot could help. And, can't really blame her for thinking that, because, as I said, I had no idea what was going on either. But it's really taken till now for me to try to kind of get my life back. With me, OCD, it doesn't impact things that aren't important. It doesn't impact on small things. It takes kind of core things of your identity, things that you value, things that are important to you, and it crumbles them down. It's called the doubting disease. Basically, you wake up in the morning, you know something's wrong, you feel stressed, you think, what's wrong? And then you remember, I've got OCD. Oh, that's why. Right, I better check. It's like stress check, prove. Stress check, prove. You doubt yourself no matter how little credibility there is in the thought, how much evidence there is. I mean, my thoughts, I could paper my walls like 10 times over with evidence, so to speak, to disprove the thoughts, but do you know what I mean? That's not how it works. Logic doesn't work. Unfortunately, I'm a very analytical person, a very logical person, so for a long time, before I knew it was OCD, I used logic to try and combat it, and it didn't make it go away, obviously, because it's a medical illness, and the more I tried to make it go away with logic, and when it didn't, the more frustrated I got and the more upset I got, and it got to the stage where I just cried, basically. I cried, and I didn't think I could go on. There were times I wanted to die. I'll be honest about that. I wanted to die. I thought it'd be easier. And how the hell I kept up a normal relationship with my girlfriend, my parents, my friends, I'll never know. I'll never know in those sort of darkest days how I kept going. But I have done. And now I've seen a counsellor I've not seen her for about 7 weeks. I've not been taking any sort of pills for about 7 weeks. I'm very much just going it alone, just willpower, and it's working for me. It's incredible. It's really incredible, kind of the progress I've made in like 5 months since I started seeing a counsellor. I'm getting my life back, and I feel happy, and I can see myself again. It's not green roots. I'm really feeling like myself, but it's so difficult after being so unhappy for so long and confused. It's almost like learning to walk again, just being happy, because you forget how it is to be human, you forget how it is to be normal, and you forget how it is to be how you were before. Your life is very much split into two parts. I mean, I mentioned earlier on the holiday I had with my ex-girlfriend in Zante. That's really the last time that I completely switched off and I was free from this. And there are days when I would murder to be able to go back to then. I don't even know if those times were that good, were that happy, but for me, looking back, I guess nostalgia to an extent, but to have that sort of freedom and to have that sort of, I don't know, no worries, for me, it seems like a different life now. I'm going to have a look at the notes again. I think I've pretty much covered everything I really want to cover. This may be the first of many kind of video diaries. As I said, the purpose of this is to raise awareness. Far too many people suffer mental illness and do nothing about it because they think that it's normal. I was one of them for 3 years. I thought it was normal to have my life dictated by this thought, and I did nothing about it. So, because I didn't know, so this is the purpose of this, just to kind of show what people go through with this. It's not a joke. It's not a case of pulling yourself together. It's a serious mental illness. It's one of the kind of most disabling illnesses known to man. As kind of research by the World Health Organization. It's unbelievably difficult, and there are times when you just want to chuck it. But I'm living proof not only that it can affect anyone, but that recovery is possible, and that when everything seems so black, unbelievably black, and you just despair, that you can get better. I mean, as I said, I'm recovering, and it seems surreal, it seems incredible, but it's possible. And every day I'm going to get stronger, and every day is going to get better. I don't want to look too much into the future, because I can't with this illness, because you just panic. But I know deep down that what I'm doing is the right thing to do. I'm making progress. I'm using the right philosophy. I've got a winning formula, and I'm going to keep it up. Without trying to waffle too much, I'm kind of wanting to finish up. But I've had some of the worst times in my life. Some of the kind of key events in my life have been ruined by this. 21st birthdays, Christmases, and I sat with my family just tortured in my head. There was a nuclear war going on inside my skull, and no one knew about it, because I didn't know how to tell them. How do you tell people you're suffering from these irrational thoughts that are not real, but to you they are? How do you explain that? I went to Barcelona with my girlfriend at the time, and it should have been the happiest time of my life, but it wasn't. I was completely I was a slave to this condition, and I couldn't enjoy it for a second. I couldn't switch off, and for a long time I blamed myself, and it haunted me. And the mention of Barcelona, or watching Barcelona, which I do a lot because I like their football, just tore me apart. But it's not my fault. I didn't ask for this, but these are my cards, and this is what I'm dealing with. So you need to make the most of it, really. Being diagnosed with OCD, for some people it's humiliating. For some people they feel worthless. But for me it was the start of recovery, because I knew that it wasn't my fault and that I had something wrong with me. It gave me answers, and that's what I needed. I needed diagnosis, I needed answers, then I needed education. And I've had that, and now I'm trying to use it, one, to make myself better, but two, I'm going to do everything I can to raise awareness for this and help people, because I know there's going to be a shitload of people who are suffering in silence. And I don't care if people think, part of me is kind of worried that people might think this is like an ego trip, to be making this video and to say I want to help people. It's not. I've been in hell. I'm kind of slowly climbing out, and I'm not going to allow anyone to go through the same thing. If I can help at all, I will. So if you've got any problems, and you know me, well, you know who to speak to, you know where to find me. Because I would hate to think that anyone at all, not even just anyone close to me, anyone who knows me remotely, or anyone who doesn't know me for that matter, was suffering with something like this, with a mental illness, because it's horrible, and it's every bit as bad as a physical illness. No one should be ashamed to talk about mental illness, because you don't ask for it. You wouldn't be ashamed to talk about physical illness, as I said. So don't be ashamed when you don't ask for it. It's the cards you've been given. So seek help. That's really all I've got to say at the moment. As I said, this might be a regular thing. I'm doing it for a friend's website, Mental Health Magazine, because I think it's so crucial to talk about it. 2 people a day kill themselves in Scotland. As I said, suicide is a stat I've hit with time and time again, because I genuinely find it shocking and disturbing that suicide kills more young men than anything else in this country. More than drugs, alcohol, cancer, car accidents. We go on about alcohol abuse and drug abuse, and yet suicide kills more than anyone else, in terms of young men. and it's treated as a taboo subject. It's incredible. So, this, if this can help in any way, then fantastic. I'm over the moon. But that's it for just now. I'm away to my bed. Cheers.